I just made a fully illustrated children's book using AI, and it looks like something you'd pay for in a shop for your kids. Also, the characters keep the same faces, hair, and clothes on every single page, which is exactly what AI used to be terrible at. In this video, I'll walk you through the whole process from one idea to a finished book, plus what these books actually sell for on Amazon. So the most important step of this whole process is actually the very first one, which is deciding what your book is going to look like. So I look for a real children's book with illustrations I personally love and download images of it. And for today's book, I went with Zog and the Flying Doctors because the hand-drawn ink and watercolor look exactly like a classic kids book. The images become the visual brief for the entire project. They stay attached in the chat the whole way through, and they're what keeps the style from drifting no matter how many pages deep we get. And you can do this with any picture book on your shelf. The one you loved as a kid is probably the style you want your own book in anyway. So now that we have the look of our book locked in, there's still one really important thing we need to do. So writing rhyming pages a kid would enjoy reading through is a real talent, but most people just aren't born with that. So a simple solution for this is to start a brand new Claude chat, attach the images, and lay out the one idea I have. A girl by the harbor finds a runaway cat tangled in her fishing nets, learns it belongs to the lighthouse keeper across the bay, and rows it home while the grumpy thing slowly warms up to her. Then I ask for the story as short rhyming text, one couplet per page for a cover, plus 8 pages. That one couplet per page part is the bit you can't skip. Real picture books run 1 or 2 lines per page, and if you let Claude write freely, you get paragraphs no kid will sit through. What comes back is the complete book in one reply, the title, Nia and the Lighthouse Cat, and all 8 pages in order, and it's proper picture book writing. Page 1 has Nia pulling a fat, grumpy cat with enormous gold eyes out of her net, and the rhymes never feel forced. This is also exactly where your own book happens. You swap my harbor idea for the story you've been meaning to write, and every other step stays the same. So now that the script is done, we can go ahead and build our characters. So getting the characters to look the same on every page is the one thing AI is kind of terrible at, because every new image you generate comes out a little bit different. So we're gonna fix this by starting back in the same Claude chat, where I ask it to design the characters to match the art style and describe each one in enough detail to generate a consistent reference sheet. I get back 3 characters: a cheerful 7-year-old called Nia in a yellow raincoat and little red boots, a plump, grumpy ginger Tom with one notched ear and a permanently unimpressed face, and Keeper Bram, a round old keeper with a big white beard. And the detail in those descriptions is deliberate, because that exact wording is what keeps the characters identical later. Every one of them also opens with the same line about soft ink and watercolor with gentle outlines. Now the generating happens in Higgsfield. That's the platform this whole workflow runs in, and my link to it is down in the description if you want to build along. Inside it, I open the image tool, set the model to GPT Image 2, and that choice matters because it's the model that can put text straight into the image, which the pages are going to need. The sheets generate from the description alone, no reference image, with the aspect ratio set to 16:9. And the format Claude wrote into each description is the trick. A single image split into 2 panels, full body on the left, face close-up on the right, on a plain cream background. If you take one thing from this video, take this step, because these sheets are the difference between a book that looks published and a book that looks generated. Nia's sheet runs first. She comes out exactly as described, right down to the red boots, in the same soft watercolor as my reference image. The cat is next, and the face close-up on his sheet is my favorite image of the whole project. He looks properly annoyed to be there. Keeper Bram finishes the cast, rosy cheeks, big white beard, exactly the kind of old man you want waving at the end of a kid's story. So those 3 reference sheets are the whole reason every character stays consistent across the book. And now they're ready to use on the actual pages. So it all comes down to one recipe, because every page gets generated the same way. I go back to Claude, and I ask it to generate image prompts for each page using these characters. It gives me all 9 at once. Every prompt follows the same structure. Keep the characters exactly the same. Same faces, colors, clothes, same warm ink, and watercolor style, then describe the scene, and drop the page text neatly into the illustration. That lettering line is honestly the part I'd never have thought of. The words get painted straight into the artwork, so there's no font picking and no text boxes in some editor afterwards. The character sheets now go in as reference images, and the aspect ratio flips to 1:1, because square is the format picture books print in. The cover runs first, Nia rowing across the bay with the cat at the front of the boat and the lighthouse small in the distance, title hand-lettered across the top, and it instantly reads as a real cover, same girl from the sheet, same grumpy cat. Page 1 follows, Nia on the dock pulling a very fat, very unimpressed cat out of her net. The one thing to check on every page from here on is the lettering. The model can misspell a word inside the painted text, and a typo is the one thing you cannot ship in a children's book. So if a line comes out garbled, regenerate that page until it reads right. From there, I just run the loop. The next prompt goes in, the same 2 sheets stay attached, and the story fills in 1 square at a time. Pages 2 and 3 go straight through. The brass collar tag on the dock, then the long row across the glittering bay with the cat sulking at the front of the boat. The seal that splashes them on page 4 might be the best page in the book. Nia's laughing, the cat is recoiling, and both of them still match their sheets exactly. The map catch on page 5 and the arrival at the lighthouse on page 6 come out right on the first try. Page 7 is the only one that changes the setup. Keeper Bram finally appears, so his sheet joins the other 2 as a third reference. It's also the one page that needed a redo. My first try drew the cat rubbing against Bram's legs, looking more like a small dog, so I ran the exact same prompt again. The last page closes the story. Nia rowing home in the evening light, the lighthouse glowing behind her, the cat watching from a lit window. And that's all 9 images done, and they look like one illustrator drew the whole book. By the way, if you want the font style and colors to stay consistent too, add one finished page as an image reference along with the character sheets for every page after it. I didn't do it here to keep this fast, but for selling online, matching text makes the book look more polished. All that's left now is putting these into a finished book and then figuring out what it can actually earn. This is where Canva comes in for the final assembly, and the build is genuinely just a single drag and drop. I drop the cover and the 8 pages into Canva in order and export the whole thing as one PDF. And this is why the lettering mattered. The text is already inside every illustration, so there is nothing left to lay out. That PDF is the finished product, and there are 2 real places to sell it. Etsy is the fast route. The PDF goes up as a digital download. No print setup, no minimum page count, and digital kids books on there mostly go for somewhere between $5 and $15. The listings making real money though are the personalized ones. The same book with the buyer's kid's name swapped into the story. There's one personalized bedtime book on there at around $27 a copy with over 1,000 reviews. And that's something this workflow handles almost for free. You swap the name and the page text, rerun the page prompts with the same character sheets, and the art comes out identical. Amazon is the bigger one, and it runs through KDP, which is print on demand. Each copy gets printed when it sells, the print cost comes out of your royalty, and there's nothing to pay up front. The numbers are simple on a book like this. A square color picture book costs $4.20 a copy to print. You earn 60% of your list price minus that print cost. So at $13.99, every copy pays you a little over $4. And nothing about that is one time. The same book keeps paying every time a copy sells, which is the whole passive income case. 2 things to know before you hit publish there. KDP paperbacks need at least 24 pages, so an 8-page book like mine needs more pages first. And in this workflow, that just means more couplets and more generations. The process itself doesn't change. And Amazon also makes you tick an AI content disclosure box when you publish. Buyers never see it, but if you leave that box unchecked, your whole account can get suspended, so just tick it. That's a full illustrated children's book, built from a single idea, and now you know exactly what each copy can earn you. And every book after this one is faster, because the reference image, the prompts, and the process never change. The only setup your own book needs is those 3 character sheets, the first thing you can make inside Higgsfield. So sign up to Higgsfield using my link down in the description and generate the character sheets for the story idea you already have. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.